Hello, my people. Today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about chiropractors and when to know that it's time to go see a chiropractor. I first, just to give a little backstory about chiropractic, when I was really younger, let's say 20s, okay? I'm 38 now, so damn near 20 years ago. I saw some weird special on something back when I used to watch TV, and it was like a chiropractor adjusted this kid's neck, and then the kid woke up and was paralyzed the next day. So I watched this after school special thing, and I don't know what the hell it was, but it freaked me out, and I was like, chiropractors are scary. So I was one of those people that was afraid of chiropractors, and I thought that they're gonna smash your bones and you're gonna be messed up for the rest of your life. Well, that's a completely ridiculous way to think of them, just so you know. They are medical doctors, and while there are fluke cases, I could give somebody a massage and they could die the next day, but it doesn't mean I caused their death, right? So hindsight's 2020, and I've learned a lot, and chiropractors are nothing to be scared of, okay? So don't be scared of chiropractors, number one. Number two, I had heard from people that I went to massage therapy school with that, this one girl was like, oh my God, this chiropractor saved my life. I had these repetitive stress injuries, and I had so much pain in my wrists, and I was losing my function of my hands. And at the time I was kind of like, oh, that sounds shitty. I don't understand what a repetitive stress injury is. It's I thought an injury is where you fall and you there's a gash and there's a wound or there's blood or there's a broken bone. I didn't understand that you could injure yourself just from chronically using your muscles over and over and over. Say she was a person who would roll sushi, and just all this continuous rolling gave her basically carpal tunnel in her wrists. Well, now I completely understand what that is. As a body worker with over 10 years of experience, I completely understand what that is. I have my own personal experience with repetitive stress injuries, and lots of my clients have repetitive stress injuries as well, which is super commonplace. You can have text message thumb. It's where your thumb joint is messed up. And anyway, our bodies are fragile, people, okay? So take care of them. Anyway, I'm now recognizing that the fact that she was having numbness in her hands and couldn't tie her shoes, that would be terrifying. You're 25 years old and your hands aren't working. Oh my God. So no wonder she felt like this chiropractor saved her life. It was she couldn't use her hands, and she was so she had to do a workman's comp thing, and she ended up seeing this chiropractor for treatment, and he got her back to being able to use her hands and fixed her up and healed her and helped her heal. And I think she ended up getting a job working there at the chiropractor's office as a insurance billings person. So she actually worked for this chiropractor, and if I am not mistaken, this was 2006, I believe the chiropractor encouraged her to go to massage therapy school, which is why she ended up meeting me and going to school with me. We were both Aquariuses that had blue hair, so we bonded real quick. Okay, so how do you know that it's time to go see the chiropractor? And that it's not just muscle pain or tension? Or how do you know when you're not just oh, I'm feeling some tightness and some pain, versus I need someone to adjust my spine? I'm going to tell you how, okay? Number one is you need to know the difference between muscular pain and misalignment. Keep in mind, my job as a massage therapist and someone who is a body worker who works on the body, my job is to work on the soft tissue. And the soft tissue is muscle, tendon, all the good, all the mushy stuff that's pliable. Okay, what else is there? Bones. The bones is the skeleton, right? And what's funny is I realize that so many people don't realize that the bones are what move. Wait. The muscles are what move the bones. You can't move your arm. There's some bones in here and there's a bone in here, and in order to get this to go this muscle has to pull it. So if we didn't have muscles, the bones wouldn't do nothing. They would just sit there. So bones, muscles work together to let us move our bodies. When your bones are misaligned, as in something is off, something is sitting wrong, something is out of alignment, something is neck, spine, rib cage, lower back, sacrum, all the way down to your wrists and ankles, okay? You got all kinds of conjunctions or there's all kinds of different types of bone alignments. Now, some are really simple, like this one. This is called a hinge joint. It doesn't go anywhere but forward and back. So you got like one bone and then like two other bones, and it kind of, it does this, or more like this. But like the hips, right? Like you got that big, like when a caveman has a bone and it's going to hit someone over the head with the bone, that's a femur bone, and that ball on the end, that's the top of your hip. And that joint, a ball and socket joint, you have a ball and socket joint in your shoulder and in your hip. Those bones, or joints, turn all different directions, 360. So those are more complex. They're not just hinges. Got it? The knee is a little more complicated because it's really a hinge joint, but it kind of has mobility. But then like this guy, the wrists and the ankles are very similar. They're like a bunch of little rock-shaped bones that kind of pile on top of each other. And all the tendons and stuff like go over them. Anyway, you have different kinds of joints. You got your hinge joints, you got your ball and socket joints. The spine is its whole own special thing. But here's the deal. A massage therapist is a soft tissue body worker. Our job is to loosen up your muscles and to relax and relieve tension in the soft tissues. And that can include the tendons and even a little bit with the ligaments. But, I do definitely a lot of injury rehabilitation. So I'm working on people's, they just had surgery on something and it's healed now, but it's tight. So I'm like digging in there trying to get the ligaments and the tendons to get new blood flow. I'm not just working on the muscles. But not all body workers are going to mess with your ligaments or tendons. Depends on what the goal is. You know what I mean? Like if you're like, hey, I just had surgery on my back and I need you to help me. Like it's different than if you're like, hey, I'm just stressed out and I want to relax. But okay, massage therapists are essentially a muscle doctor or a muscle specialist, where a chiropractor is a bone specialist. I was going to say bone doctor, but I think those are called osteopaths. I had to see one of those at one point. If you need an MRI, you got to talk to one of those bone doctors. Okay, when you are out of alignment, I remember learning about this from that same friend who I met in massage school. She's like, well, once you get into alignment, you know what it feels like to be in alignment. And then you can feel it when you're out of alignment. And I remember kind of being like, that's really hard for me to understand what that means. You know what I mean? Alignment. Like, how do you know if your bones are aligned? Oh, well, honey child, she was so right. I totally get it now. It's true. When you get adjusted by a chiropractor on some sort of regular basis, or even if you're just doing chiropractic as a treatment for example, a car accident where, the insurance claim is such that you have, you got injured in the car accident and you need to get better. A lot of times what they automatically do is send you to a chiropractor, or you have to say, I want to go to a chiropractor, and then the insurance claim will cover that treatment. So when you're getting, unfortunately, if you've had a car accident and now you're all messed up, it's hard to know what normal is. So the chiropractor is adjusting you, but you might not really be aware of what alignment is, because even if you feel better for a little while after the adjustment, unfortunately, when your muscles are super tight because they got, whiplashed or otherwise damaged and strained or sprained, those tight muscles, they go eek, and they pull the bones back out of alignment. So it's not always easy to stay in alignment or know what alignment really feels like, but you shouldn't wait until you're injured to start doing self-care stuff. So Don't feel bad. I totally waited until I was injured to ever go to a chiropractor. Remember, I was scared. I thought the chiropractors were going to paralyze you. I was terrified. So get this. I was in massage therapy school. It's 2006. I've never been in a car accident other than like a fender bender. And none that I had received any bodily harm. And I get rear-ended. And I get rear-ended at a stop sign or whatever. And it was fast enough that it rattled me big time, and my neck felt immediately tight. I was so scared. I'd never been in a car accident before. I called 911. I had paramedics show up. I was like, I don't know what to do. And at the time, I don't think I had any medical insurance. So I was really scared that I was like, you need to write this down and say that I said my neck is in pain because I'm feeling pain right now, and I don't know what it means, but I feel tight, and the whole back of my head and my whole neck is like tightening up on me. And I don't know what that means, but if I wake up tomorrow and I can't move, I want to make sure that this mofo who just hit me is held responsible for this. So, God, that sucked. But anyway, I had a car accident. I got whiplash. My neck was messed up. I could tell it was messed up immediately after the car accident. And after that went down, I contacted my friend and I said, who's the chiropractor that you've been going to? Because like for some reason, massage therapy is just never one of the things that they automatically offer you. But I knew that the chiropractor office is something, okay, maybe it's because chiropractors are actual medical doctors. Like they have to go to 8 years of school, just like a regular medical doctor. So they're doctors, they have a doctorate, they're Dr. So-and-so. Maybe because of that, they have the wherewithal to deal with insurance claims and make their money from injury cases. So they handle it for you. You just tell them, I got in an accident, my neck is jacked up. They go, come on in, we will take care of you. It's actually a very relieving experience. And they deal with everything. You don't got to pay for anything. They take the information and they bill it to the insurance, okay? So you might need to go see a chiropractor if you got in a freaking car accident, for sure, okay? If you're injured, and if your bones got jacked up, or you've crashed a motorcycle, or you fell and hit your head and now you constantly have headaches, anything where you've had a trauma to your body and now you don't feel right, and especially if other things are not helping, definitely get a massage too. You gotta loosen up the muscles so that when they crack the bones and put the bones in alignment, they stay in alignment. If you don't loosen up your muscles first, then the adjustment only lasts so long. And I learned that with that very first experience. I would get my neck cracked. It would be very jarring. It was actually somewhat painful, but I wasn't surprised, seeing as how I had been in a car accident and I could like barely turn my freaking neck. So they would crack my neck and I'd be like, oh, wow, that feels better. It feels nice that I can turn my head now. But it would feel like it was pulled right back out of a place within the next day. It wasn't until I started doing massage therapy, deep tissue massage, specifically targeting the neck muscles that had been whiplashed 2 months before, that's when I started to get really rapid results. I'll make another video about chiropractic and massage as a fabulous combination therapy for healing at another time. But let's get back to how you know it's time to go see the chiropractor. Are you just tight? Like, did you just go hiking yesterday and you haven't hiked in a long time and now you just went walking 5 miles and your muscles are sore? Here's how you can tell the difference between soreness and misalignment. When you're just sore, like say you worked out and your muscles are sore, that's a good thing. It's usually a good sore. It's usually unilateral, meaning the left side of your body and the right side of your body feel equally sore. Like both legs are sore, both calves are sore, both hamstrings, both glutes. It's like when you do a bunch of abs and then you laugh and your stomach hurts. It doesn't hurt on like one spot. The whole abs hurt. So if you're sore, if you're tight, it's usually like the same on both sides. If you're out of alignment, it's usually like you feel it on one side. Like this one side of my lower back is bothering me. This one thing in my hip, this one hip always is bothering me, but not the other hip. Or this one side of my shoulder is bothering me, but not the other. Or I can turn my head this way, but I can't turn my head this way, okay? That can't turn your head thing, that's a big one. And also, you know that shock that you get every now and then when your neck muscles are tight and you're like, what? And you like look over your shoulder and you get the like zzz, and it's like a really nasty feeling. You literally feel a bzz, and then it like shoots pain into your neck and the side of your face, and whoa, it's like, woo. Okay. That is a major indicator that you need to go see the chiropractor and your neck needs to be adjusted, because all of these weird little vertebrae, I wish I could had a spine right here to show you, but there's all these vertebrae, you know, in the neck you've got 7 of them, C7, in the thoracic spine, which is like from that little bump on the back of your back there to the lumbar, that's the thoracic spine. You've got I believe 12 of those. And then you've got 5 lumbar vertebrae. Easy to remember that because everybody always gets hurt between L4 and L5. But anyway, once you get down to L5, it turns into the sacrum. So you have 7 cervical vertebrae. This is not important. What I'm trying to say is you have 7 different bones that articulate and twist to give us this amazing ability to, you know, what? I can twist my upper body back and my neck forward. We've got this amazing spinal column that is so freaking cool and badass that we can walk upright and so much stuff we can do. And when those vertebrae, so imagine they're supposed to sit like this. Okay, let's pretend that my knuckles sitting together is a proper alignment. So your muscles are tight, something's wonky, and let's say it's sitting like this, which means it's not sitting the correct way. When this happens, that's called a subluxation, and the bones are sitting funky, like they're just not aligned correctly. This happens because of muscle tension. It happens because of trauma. It happens because you slept funny with your arm twisted and your neck twisted. It happens because you laid on the couch and slept with your neck bent on the couch. When you're out of alignment, sometimes like the nerves that come out of your spine are now getting like they're getting like aggravated and irritated. So then you start to have nerve pain or impingement or numbness, or there's a whole bunch of issues that come from having your spine not aligned, which is now why I'm a huge advocate for chiropractic work, and I constantly refer people to the chiropractor's office that I go to, because it has helped me so much. I've been going regularly now for like 5 years or more, and at one point or another I just realized that this was something I needed to do on a regular basis, and I didn't want to wait until I was out of alignment so much that I was like, doing this kind of thing, you know? Okay, so, number 2 is, are you trying to crack your own back, neck, wrist, or are you cracking it constantly? Both of those are indications you need to go see the chiropractor. I remember I always would see this person going like, you know, like they'd push on their chin and like push their head back. Some people are able to get some relief by adjusting their own body, but it's really, really not recommended that you do that. It's better if you just stretch, like, you know, like in my wrist stretches for massage therapists and people who work on computers, I have you doing these like wrist rolls, and my wrist makes cracking sounds as it moves around. And sometimes when I stretch, my feet, my ankles, different things pop. That is a natural adjustment, or a freebie, as we say in the bodywork world. Like if I'm massaging somebody and I press on their wrist and it pops, I'm like, yeah. But I know that it's like it slipped into place from me just putting pressure on it. But I don't know how to do adjustments. I've had a lot of clients come in and go, it feels like something needs to get popped. And I'm thinking like, hey, that's not my job. That's not my area of expertise. So like I said, loosen up your muscles. Yes, definitely get a massage. But don't expect your massage therapist to be a chiropractor, and don't expect your chiropractor to be a massage therapist. You need combo therapy for maximum relief here. But if you can't turn your head one way, but you can the other way, or if you can't turn your head either way, if your range of motion has been affected and you are limited in your range of motion, like I said, remember that I mentioned about unilateral? So if, for example, this arm, you can move around nice and big circles, but then this one, you're like, oh, it hurts, or like, oh, that hurts. I'm just acting that out, but my arm is fine. But, oh, hey, this arm makes a clicking sound when it goes around. It's if something is wonky where one side is fine and the other side's not, that's an indication that something's out of alignment. Okay. Number 3, if you're constantly cracking something, if you like have to pop your wrist like 15 times a day, that's not good. That means you're like repetitively moving something. I used to think it was awesome that I could like twist and push on my hip and like get my lower back to pop. And now I know that if I twist and stretch and it pops on its own, that's fine. But if I'm trying to force it to pop, it's probably time to go see the chiropractor. What happened when I hurt my lower back was I used to always be able to just like do one of these things like in bed where you like twist like this. And I used to be able to do that, and I'd always get it to pop in my lower back. I'm one of those really flexible people, and all my joints are slipping and sliding and cracking and popping all the time. So I was able to always pop my own back before my first car accident. After first car accident, messed up my neck. But years later, I fell on my tailbone trying to snowboard, and I hurt my lower back. Well, what would happen was when I would push on the right side to crack, it would pop. But when I pushed on the left side, it would not. I could not get the left side to move. And I would end up doing my right side like every single day and trying to get the left side. And I found myself often in like a bathroom stall doing one of these, like grabbing onto the handicap bars and going, and like I'm twisting my whole body and putting all this torque trying to crack something. Obviously, I couldn't crack it myself, could I? So I need to go to a professional who knows how to do it. But yeah, I told the doctor, I can crack the right side every day, but I can't crack the left. And they said, you shouldn't do that, because when something moves easily, it's like you're overdoing it. Like if you can make it pop, that's not necessarily a good thing. Because again, like if it pops on its own while you're stretching, and you're not having to like force it, then that's different. You know what I mean? If you're forcing something, that's bad. If it moves on its own, that's good. That's great. I have a lot of people that go, something feel like it needs to pop. And I say, I'm going to give you a kick-ass massage. And when we're done, I want you to stretch. And I want you to turn your head. And I want you to blah, 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 whatever it is, depending on the body part. And I tell them, your bone that's out of alignment might slip back into place on its own because I've loosened you up so much. But you're going to have to wiggle around and see if it moves. But I'm not going to like push on your back because I don't know how to do those kinds of adjustments. So if you're constantly cracking the same joint, you probably need to go talk to the chiropractor. They might be able to get a deeper movement in there that you can't do. Like you're just popping this surface thing, you're just scratching the surface, and they get like the good pop, the deeper pop, and then you get this amazing sense of relief, and those nerves that are like zzz and being irritated relax, and they finally are not being irritated anymore, and then everything relaxes and loosens up, and then you don't need to crack that thing 15 times a day. Okay, number 3, what am I on here? Poking, feeling, or pressure when you breathe. One of the things that I learned about that slips out of alignment pretty easily is ribs. And the ribs, come out here and they wrap around to the chest and to the spine. Rarely, I've never had anyone adjust me on my sternum, but in the upper back, especially here in that shoulder blade area, and I'm certain it has to do with all those shoulder muscles that are attached on that area, constantly being used. Whenever you're moving your arms, you're using these muscles, and I think it pulls on and messes with those ribs. And so what happens is, again, you've got a rib that's just sitting a little bit off, right? So it wants to be here, and it's there. So it's a very small, it's not like you have a rib poking out of your freaking skin. It's just a little, it's just a little off. But when that freaking rib is out, it feels like someone is poking you in the back, and you feel it all the time. It's constantly bothering you, and you're like, oh, it feels like something's poking me. I remember my hairdresser, Nate, came in and he was like, dude, I've got this pain in my shoulder blade. It's been there for 3 weeks or 2 months or however long it had been. Poor guy. And he was like, it's driving me crazy. It feels like somebody's poking me in my back and it's driving me crazy. Can you do some cupping? And I was like, yes, I will do that. So I did some cupping in that area. And when we were all done, he told me, he was like, oh my God, I got up and I stretched and it popped. Oh, it feels so much better. So like loosening up the muscles got that thing to go back into place. But when the muscles are all firing off and they're all irritated and Twitter-pated and freaking, tense and spasming and whatever they might be doing, they're not going to let that thing go back into place. They're not going to want to. But what's awesome about chiropractors is they can feel your spine, they can feel your neck, and they can feel where stuff is not right, and they know how to get it back. And sometimes you can even say, ooh, that wasn't all the way. And they can go, okay, let's do it again. And you know what I mean? Like you can tell them close, but not all the way, and they can do it again and you can get it. And sometimes when you're nice and loose and healthy and stretching and getting your massages and all that good stuff, they adjust you and you're like butter. They're like click, pop, doom, doom. Oh, wow, you adjusted really well today. Adjusted really well means you slipped into place easily. And a person who's difficult to adjust is somebody who they're like driving a crowbar into that person's back, trying to, you know what I mean? They're like, huh, and it's like body slam, and they can't get the freaking bone to pop. But a great way to get those pesky bones to pop, if they are bothering you and you can tell, is go get a deep tissue massage first and get all loosened up, and then it'll be way easier for the chiropractor to adjust you. If things are one-sided, poking, or the rib, when the rib is out of place, it'll feel like someone's poking you, and when you breathe in deeply, it'll hurt. So if something hurts when you breathe, breathing is a natural part of life. Your body needs to breathe. If something is causing pain just from breathing, something is not correct in your body. And it's probably not just a muscle. You know what I mean? Like it's a muscle pain might feel sore, or you might feel tightness, but you shouldn't feel pain or pressure when you're trying to breathe. If moving your lungs is causing pain inside of your body, I guarantee you it's a rib is out of place. I wanted to tell you a little bit about KT tape. That's what's on my elbow right now. I've been dealing with some elbow tendonitis for a few months now from Spin and Fire. So what's really cool about chiropractors as well is they have a wealth of information for you. You can ask them questions. Yeah, you're going to be in there for a quick visit, but they want to help you. They are medical professionals. They are healers, just like massage therapists. We want to help you. We're not like, okay, get on the table, shut up. Okay, let me massage you. Okay, bye. That's not how it works. We're like, how are you doing? How are you feeling? What's going on in your body right now? We want you to talk to us, okay? So if you go see a chiropractor and something's bothering you, tell them what's bothering you. Like, hey, my everything feels great, but my neck is jacked up. That's usually what I say. I'm like, I feel fine, but my neck is messed up. And then they know to expect that something in my neck is wonky. And a lot of times they adjust my neck. And honestly, guys, it sucks. But ever since that very first car accident with that very first whiplash in 2006, which was 16 years ago, ever since then, I have had chronic tension in the back of my head and my neck. So sometimes just one injury can really throw you for a loop and cause a chronic tension pattern in your body that you might need to do some maintenance for forever, if you want to live without pain. So, but I go to the chiropractor about once a week. I have a membership to the Joint. It's really affordable. That's why I go there. You don't need an appointment. You just walk in, and it works for me. And I don't always go every single week. Sometimes I feel great, so I'm like, why would I go right now? But other times, if I don't use up, all my visits in the given month, I'm like, oh man. So it's like I feel obligated, But I like to go on the same day of the week, every week, so that I can see the same chiropractor. I like to have the same person adjusting me because they get to know your body. But I've had tons of benefits from talking to chiropractors about, they're like, anything else? Do you need anything else today? And I'm like, actually, you know what? I've got this weird thing going on. And sometimes it might be like just a muscle pain or a tendon pain. like, for example, I had a weird pain happening in the back of my knee, and it wasn't in the bones, it was in the muscle, right in the back of the knee there, and a little bit like into the tendons. And I was like, what the hell is causing this pain? And this is why it was weird. It wasn't like, oh, it hurts all the time. It was like I would squat down on, digging in the cabinets or whatever, and I'd like be moving pots and pans, and I would like crouch down in a squatting position, and I'd be putting stuff away or organizing in the drawer, and then I'd go to stand back up after having my knees bent into a froggy squat. And it was only when I would try to extend my leg after having it bent that I would feel this like, oh, this weird stiffness, and only on one side. And it lasted for like a week or two. And I was like, what is up with that? How come it's so stiff? And like, I'd get up out of bed, normal, walking around, everything's normal. And then I'd crouch down and I'd go to stand. I forget about it until I go to stand up. And then I'd be like, oh, what the fuck is that? So again, I was like, it's on one side. It only feels it when I do a certain movement. So I remember I'm at the chiropractor. They're like, how are you feeling today? Anything else? And I go, oh, you know what? Actually, there is something else. Maybe you can help. I don't know if you can, but maybe. I get this weird pain whenever I stand up from being in a squatted position. And they were like, He goes, let me see. And I lay down. He's like, let me feel it. So he like sticks his thumb in the back of my knee. And he's like poking around to find like the tight spot. Oh my gosh. When he found it, I was like, ah, it was so intensely painful. And I was like, oh my God, what the hell is that? He goes, that's your hamstring attachment. Stretch your hamstrings. Blah, 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 blah. And I was like, oh, thanks, doc. So it was so cool that like, I didn't know what the heck it was. I couldn't figure it out. He knew what attached right there. He could, he was able to feel what is tight. Something is tight that when she bends her knee for an extended, period of time, a couple of minutes, she tries to extend it and it doesn't want to let it go. So it's got to be something that when it's contracted, you know what I mean? Like the movement of the body helps identify what the problem is. Then he stabs his thumb in there and I jump off the table and he's like, that's what it is. Well, when he said it's your hamstring attachment, I was like, okay, that means I need to A, stretch my hamstrings, B, I need to have my massage therapist next time I'm getting a massage dig into my hamstrings and loosen them up, and C, maybe I need to like massage it myself, and maybe like at this point I'd probably rub some CBD up in there. But that pain is now gone, and when I started stretching my hamstrings, I recognized that my left hamstring was super freaking tight. And when I got my next massage and the person addressed my hamstrings, the left side was 10 times tighter than the right. I don't know why that is, but it solved the problem. What else have I had chronic issues with joints? I've had weird feelings in my foot, like a weird numbness or whatever in my foot that was unexplainable, and I'd only notice it when I'd step onto the foot. I'd like put pressure on the foot and I'd feel this weird pain between the toes in the middle of the down, it's hard to explain, but I'd feel this weird pressure. And I was like, you know what? I've got this weird pressure in my foot. And they're like, okay, let me check this out. And they're like, they move my foot around. They don't normally adjust your feet, but if you ask for a specific thing, they will try. And they're like, click. Oh, something just popped into place. Oh, that's much better. And maybe I needed to have that done a couple of times, but then the problem fixed itself because it wasn't out of alignment anymore. So any chronic issue with a joint, whether it's your wrist, your shoulder, your lower back, knee, elbow, any chronic issue that you have with a particular joint, they are, again, bone specialists. What are your joints made out of? Bones and ligaments and tendons. So you can be like, hey, doc. I said, hey, doc, I'm having this nasty elbow tendonitis. Whenever I grasp things, I feel this like, burn sensation or this like a pinching, feeling. And I was like, what do I do? I've got this elbow tendonitis. My doctor said, ice it. I was like, oh, I hate icing things. Well, I finally iced it a few days later when I was sick of the pain. Felt better immediately, and the next day felt 10 times better. So I was like, should have listened to my doctor. The other thing is the KT tape. Okay, so I don't know how to use this stuff. I'm not versed in this yet, but maybe I'll learn about it so that I can offer that as a service to my clients where I could tape them up. But this chiropractor kept telling me and my partner, your upper back is this, your upper back is this, you need the KT tape, you need the KT tape. And he explained to us how to put it on, but he's like, you got to go buy the stuff at the pharmacy and then put it on your back. And we're like, what? So anyway, what was awesome was we finally listened and put the tape on our backs, upper backs, to deal with like upper back pain, kind of like chronic shoulder blade pain. And a lot of it, I think it's from the computers, like we need to like pull it back. But guess what? I had pain in my back ongoing for like 2 weeks. I get an adjustment. He says, get the tape. I finally put the tape on. Oh, it helped a lot. Imagine that. But again, I'm not versed in KT tape, and you certainly can't put it on your back by yourself. You need someone to help you. So these last 2 weeks, I've gone in to see the chiropractor who is versed in the KT tape. And I said, could you tape up my elbow, please? And he's like, sure. So we double checked. He wanted to see what I had found online, what they advised about. I said, I looked up a video online, but someone else is applying it to the person while they sit there with their elbow slightly bent. It's a lot harder to put something on your own body, especially while you have to maintain a certain angle. So it was really great. He taped me up, and the tape lasted for about 3 or 4 days, like with showers and everything. So it doesn't last forever, but it stayed on, and it helped a lot. So I was like, oh, that was awesome. And so now my plan is to just spin every single time I want to spin fire. I'm going to tape it first so that it gives it some support while I'm doing these movements that I know aggravate the joint. So, all right, that was a lot of information. I'm sure this short video was not so short after all, but I hope this helps you to feel confident about going and talking to a chiropractor and going and seeing a chiropractor. Don't try to crack your neck by yourself. Let the professional do it. And they are there to help you, and they are wonderful. If you need a referral for an awesome chiropractor, hit me up, especially if you're in San Diego. I'll send you to one of the ones that I love and trust. And if you're in a different space that's not San Diego, just go to Yelp. I love Yelp because it's got customer-generated reviews on it. And you could do Google too. Now you can write reviews on Google too. But if you go look up chiropractor in your area, and they've got 4.5 stars with 300 reviews, or even just 20 reviews and all 5 stars, you've got a pretty good chance that they're pretty awesome. I'll make another video at some other time about things to watch out for so you don't get scammed, because there are definitely money grubbing businesses out there that just want to get your money and sell you packages, and it's you really do want to kind of like feel them out first and get to know them so that you can feel like you can trust them. And there's way different price ranges. I mean, there's like $75 a visit to like $25 a visit, okay? So you do not need to break the bank. It should be really inexpensive. Sometimes that first visit includes x-rays and stuff, but it just depends on the place. If you've had a car accident, by all means, get your ass in there immediately. They might even be able to get massage covered on your claim, especially if they have a massage therapist working there at the chiropractor's office. Okay, lastly but not least, I'm going to share with you my favorite place, The Joint. I love it. It's super easy to go in there and just walk up in there when you have time. $29 for your first visit. I think it's $35 after that. Okay, for a one-off. So you could be like, I'm just going to do chiropractic like once. I'll put a link to their website in the description of this video. You could say, I'm going to do it once a month, But if you're recovering from an injury, or you have chronic pain with a joint, or chronic issues with a joint, or like arthritis or bursitis or other problems like that, why aren't you in the chiropractor already? Why aren't you doing that on a regular basis? Why aren't you coming to see me at least once a month? So my recommendation for everybody across the board is go to the chiropractor once a month. Get a massage at least once a month. And ideally, get your massage on Friday and go to the chiropractor on Saturday. Or, you know what I mean? Get your massage on Sunday and go to the chiropractor on Monday. Or even get your massage at noon and go to the chiropractor at 1:30 and just do it right after when you're nice and loosened up. It'll be easier for the chiropractor to adjust you, and then your body is all smushy, gushy, happy. And then with your bones in alignment and your muscles loosened up, guess what? You're going to sleep like a baby, and you're going to be able to retain and maintain that alignment in your body that much longer. Don't say chiropractic only works for 5 minutes. That's not true. if you get adjusted and then you feel painful right after, it's because your muscles are too tight. And your muscles are so tight and you're such a little stress ball that you need to quit drinking coffee, you need to come get a massage, and you need to chill the F out, because if you're running around like this all the time, having someone crack your neck is not going to solve that chronic tension in your body. But you can get to a place of painlessness. You can definitely get to a place where you feel like you can move, you can turn your head, everything's working, there's no restriction of motion. It's possible. Don't give up. Have faith. Go see the chiropractor. Go get a massage. And whatever else your insurance will cover, like acupuncture and all that other stuff, okay? I'll make another video about that some other time. Or actually, I already have a video called What About Acupuncture? If you want to know about acupuncture, check out that video. I'll actually put it up right here or right there. Thanks for your time and attention. Love you lots. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Take care. Bye.